Most sledders tend to think of traction products in two distinct categories. First, we consider carbides a necessary wear item that needs to be replaced from time to time. Second, we think of studs as a performance improvement product designed to get us moving more efficiently. Now, simply throwing a bag of studs at your sled or grabbing the first set of carbides you see at your local dealer isn't really going to do you a whole lot of good. The secret to getting the most from your traction products is balancing the proper number of studs for your riding style with the corresponding length of ski carbide. Too many studs and not enough carbide will make the sled difficult to turn. The opposite will make the rear end feel unsettled on the trail. To find out which combination will work best for you, check out the application guide on the Woody's website. It really is the best resource around for this type of information. To both illustrate and prove this point, we plowed off a section of the lake so that we would have a smooth, even, and fair surface for our test track. We gathered up two identical sleds, Snowtrax's very own Arctic Cat Z1 Turbo, and then another Z1 Turbo we borrowed from the friendly crew at Supertrax magazine. We set up one of our turbos with 153 1.325-inch Woody's Grandmaster studs, which are the only OEM-approved studs for single-ply tracks. We then combined them with a set of 6-inch Woody's Slim Jim carbides. The other turbo was left totally stock with a set of bagged-out factory runners and no studs at all. Our testing will be divided into three separate sections. First, there'll be acceleration and braking. Then, we'll move into a slalom course, and we'll finish off with some real-world trail riding applications. I think it's pretty obvious how this testing is going to turn out, but I think the visualization of it all is going to help us understand the real importance of a balanced traction package. For our first test, we'll have each sled accelerate away from our start cones. The goal is to see which sled stays in control and accelerates more efficiently. Obviously, this is going nowhere. The sled with studs accelerated quickly, and the back end didn't slide around unless I jumped on the throttle hard. This thing just does a huge burnout and then spins around in circles. Next, we'll have the sleds accelerate to the start cones and then jump on the brakes. The goal for this test is to see which sled stops the fastest, but stays in control while doing it. Again, it's pretty clear, the studded sled is the winner. It stopped at least 30 feet shorter from only 20 miles an hour. If I'd been doing this test on the trail with the non-studded turbo, I'd definitely be in the rhubarb right now. The next test is the slalom course. Now this is pretty simple. Just drive around the cones as fast as possible without taking any of them out. Kind of like a video game, but in real life. Now the non-studded sled was going nowhere fast, but this thing, with a balanced stud and carbide combination from Woody's, actually went through the pylons pretty well, and at a max speed of about 30 miles an hour, which isn't too bad. To be honest, I'm pretty surprised. After our controlled surface testing on the lake, it's even more obvious than before how effective traction products actually are on icy surfaces. But the real test will be on the trail, because that's where you really ride, and this is a real test. So let's go get some real results. Because snow conditions in my area have been so good this winter, we actually had to hunt for an icy corner to test our two sleds back to back. But this actually helped illustrate the main reason you should have traction products on your sled in the first place. Basically, you never know when you'll hit an icy corner, even on the best trails, under the best conditions. As expected, the studded sled with good carbides was totally unfazed by the icy patch on the trail. It rolled right over and didn't even flinch. The sled without studs, on the other hand, is a different story. It tails out, the back end wants to come around on it. Now, if I knew that icy corner was here, it might not be such a big issue. But let's say I was riding unfamiliar trails, I was second or third in line, or let's say I was riding in some snow dust. That icy corner could become a big problem, and so could that tree. But it's the one time you're not ready that you're really going to wish you'd spent the extra time and money to hook your scooter up with a balanced traction package designed specifically for your sled and style of riding.